Welcome to Westinghouse Park. Situated in Pittsburgh's East End neighborhood of Point Breeze North. From 1871 to 1918, these 10 acres were the site of Solitude, the estate of George Westinghouse, Jr. I'm David Baer, former Post-Gazette editor and public radio host, longtime Point Breeze North resident, and initial organizer of the Westinghouse Park Second Century Coalition. The Coalition, an ad hoc group of interested individuals and organizations, works to help the city identify, develop, and manage the physical and historical assets of Westinghouse Park. In lieu of an in-park event long scheduled for October 6th, this video has been organized to observe George Westinghouse's 174th birthday. COVID-19 concerns notwithstanding, we wanted to welcome George back to the park that bears his name, to wish him happy birthday, and to bring him up to date, both with what has happened and what developments are presently taking shape. Please enjoy.
Hi, I'm Erica Hyde. I am the park ranger for Westinghouse Park. Oh my gosh, George Westinghouse! Happy birthday! I hear it's your 174th birthday?
It is.
You're looking good. Wow, very tall. So, your park has made it 102 years. Do you like the improvements and changes?
I do.
The ginkgos have gotten a little bit bigger since you planted them.
They have.
And you know, some trees have done better than others, but we're planting some new ones to even them out. But you can see the park has been used a lot. We've got a nice little playground, a lot of walkers coming through. You know, we're really proud of everything that has happened in the past 102 years of this park's history. And a lot of people have taken interest in this park, and they've decided to meet together today and discuss the changes. So first up is Christine Davis. She is a well-known archaeologist, and she is going to take it away and speak on behalf of Westinghouse Park.
Hi, I'm Christine Davis from Christine Davis Consultants. We are the firm who discovered the remains of George Westinghouse's home in Pittsburgh. Everything from the remains of the family's stained glass windows to a tunnel connecting the house to an underground secret lavatory were found. Our archaeologists will continue to discover more of this significant site as our work continues. Happy birthday, George Westinghouse.
Next is Matt Erb from Tree Pittsburgh, the Director of Urban Forestry.
Happy birthday, George. I'm Matt Erb with Tree Pittsburgh. We're an environmental nonprofit working to protect and restore our urban forests through community tree care, planting, advocacy, and education. Westinghouse Park has a really interesting collection of really enormous specimens of different tree species, and Tree Pittsburgh has been involved in Westinghouse Park since 2008. We organized our first volunteer tree planting in the park, where we planted several pin oaks and some yellow buckeyes. We've worked with the Pendle chapter of the International Society of Arboriculture to host a Arbor Day of Service in the park, where tree crews volunteered their time and equipment to help maintain and preserve some of the trees in the park, followed by the International Tree Climbing Competition, which brought a lot of competitors from across the state of Pennsylvania and Delaware to climb some of these historic trees in the park. We've worked to do a tree inventory of this park, and so in 2013 the first tree inventory was done. That inventory is a great planning tool to help with tree removal and pruning needs, as well as planting needs. Following that tree inventory, Tree Pittsburgh worked with local arborist contractors to help prune a lot of the historic trees in the park, and we proceeded to plant more than 20 new trees in the park. These tree species were selected to help diversify the canopy, to help provide more aesthetic diversity as far as fall color, having evergreens that are valuable for wildlife habitat, as well as to kind of restore some of the original plantings of this park with some new plantings. We've engaged the public with tree identification walks, and so we host these walks throughout the year in different city parks and cemeteries. And for 2 hours we walk a group of folks around looking at different tree species, discussing different ways that trees can be identified through their leaves, through their fruits, barks, and form. And Westinghouse Park provides a really great place to do that, with lots of mature specimens, lots of unusual tree species, and people are always fascinated to see some of the trees that exist in this park. One of the most recognizable trees in Westinghouse Park is the sawtooth oak in the southeast corner. And there aren't too many sawtooth oaks in Pittsburgh, but the one in Westinghouse Park has a very unique form. It has very low, widespread branches that might remind you of a live oak tree growing in the southeastern United States, like Florida. And this tree is just magnificent in its size and in its long, sweeping branches. Another very unique feature of Westinghouse Park are the small groves of pin oaks planted in clusters of 3. And we don't see this type of planting on any other properties in the city of Pittsburgh. These pin oaks were planted very close together, 10 to 15 feet on average, and generally in groups of 3. And this planting style has allowed these trees to reach massive sizes with very large tree canopies. Unfortunately, we've lost 2 of these groves in the last few years, but it's a very unique design feature of Westinghouse Park, and we did plant a grove of pin oaks in the same fashion in 2008 that'll hopefully recreate what was here originally. But it's anybody's guess as to why these trees are planted in groups of 3. One interesting theory I've heard is that a friend of yours, Nikola Tesla, was obsessed with the number 3. So perhaps these plantings were an homage to his obsession with that number. With the updated tree inventory, we hope that the city is able to continue maintaining some of these historical assets, these trees that are so significant and provide so many benefits to city residents, as well as to help inform future planting projects, knowing that we have certain pest and disease pressures, knowing that we have issues with climate change. We can better select tree species that will hopefully live another century or more in Westinghouse Park and provide benefits to all users of the park.
Now, Marty Battleston from the City of Pittsburgh City Planning.
Hey George, happy birthday. I'm Marty Battistone, an environmental planner with the City of Pittsburgh's Department of City Planning, and I'll be leading the park master planning process for Westinghouse Park. Park master plans help chart the course for investment and implementation and result in parks that should meet all of the community's needs and priorities. We want Westinghouse Park to include all of the recreational amenities, ecological functions, and cultural and historical elements that honor your legacy. As we enter the 7th month of this pandemic, the City of Pittsburgh has redirected our focus to ensure that planning and projects can continue even while in-person public meetings cannot. In August, the city launched Engage PGH, an interactive platform for community participation with city projects and programs. It's a one-stop location to learn more about projects and participate in activities to provide input and share experiences that improve the plans and implementations from the city. At engage.pittsburghpa.gov, there are pages for other city projects, such as the Oakland Neighborhood Plan, the Highland Park Super Playground, and now the Westinghouse Park Master Plan. It's a super user-friendly website that allows you to do everything from share memories to providing input on different park elements and other aspects that will end up in the Park Master Plan. If you don't have access to the internet or feel more comfortable giving your opinion in other ways, you can call 311 and give your feedback over the phone. The feedback that we gather through these engagement activities will shape the Park Master Plan. We can't do it without the residents and other stakeholders. Let's honor George and his birthday by getting involved in this project, so please go check out the site and sign up to receive all the updates as we go through this process. George, hope you have a great birthday.
Now, David Baer will speak from the Westinghouse Park Second Century Coalition.
This is David Baer again to talk a bit more about the Westinghouse Park Second Century Coalition. We're an ad hoc group of interested individuals and organizations who are working together to help the city identify, develop, and manage the physical and historical assets of Westinghouse Park. Legally registered by the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, our goals are to preserve and enhance the park's amenities and reputation as a neighborhood gathering place, to explore, document, preserve, and present the park's rich Westinghouse history, to celebrate and honor the memory of the park's namesake, you, whose numerous extraordinary achievements changed the world in myriad and transformational ways. I am pleased to report that we are well on the way to meeting those goals. A complete underground survey of the park has already been conducted using ground-penetrating radar and electromagnetic detection. The survey indicated numerous anomalies of historical interest to be explored. We have also developed an online presence. The website westinghousepark.org provides an informational platform for the park and an electronic archive for materials documenting your life and your accomplishments. The Westinghouse Park Facebook page fosters active community engagement. As Marty Battistone explained earlier, there's a new entry in the city's Engage Pittsburgh website for the Westinghouse Park Master Plan. Most notably, the coalition has formed an association with the Point Breeze North Development Corporation and received grants from the URA and Icon Development to work toward the creation of a master development plan for the park. This master plan will focus on 4 key elements: recreation and relaxation. Neighbors and community members currently use the park for myriad reasons: bicycling, strolling, jogging, dog walking, picnicking, socializing, and a host of other activities. Its playground is popular with families who have children. The plan seeks to enhance and expand those experiences. One example of necessary improvement is the cement block structure, which has stood for 65 years. It is unattractive, decrepit, and insufficient for neighborhood needs. It should be removed, relocated, and replaced. In fact, a design study by graduate students at CMU's School of Architecture has already generated 11 different conceptual visions of how a new community building in the park might look and where it might be situated. We'll be unveiling these designs sometime in the near future. Historic and cultural significance. History happens here is more than a motto for the park. Preliminary archaeological studies indicate the probable presence of numerous historic artifacts buried in the foundations of the house, the lab, and the 220-foot-long tunnel that connects them. As explained earlier, one element of this process will certify that Westinghouse Park is eligible to be listed on the National Registry of Historic Places. Deeper archaeological investigations are also envisioned. Environmental stewardship. The 10-acre park consists of lawns, pathways, and many magnificent trees, including several planted by you yourself some 140 years ago. Another element of the master plan involves recognizing and developing the park as an arboretum. In addition to preservation of historic landscape features and beautification of the park overall, the plan will explore possibilities for stormwater mitigation. Since the park is a primary headland for the Negley Run watershed, PWSA and Alcosan will also consult and contribute to the project. Building community. Westinghouse Park attracts visitors from beyond the immediate Point Breeze North neighborhood. The current connection with Homewood is a decrepit footbridge over the rail busway, which is made less accessible by multiple flights of stairs. Similarly, relatively few Point Breeze neighbors cross Penn Avenue to visit the park. This project will engage and involve park stakeholders on both sides of those division lines. It will establish and support a positive cooperative relationship with the new city sports facility now being developed at Homewood Field, immediately across the tracks. The plan will also consider the new residential and commercial developments at the former Lexington Technology Park 1 block away. Community involvement is an essential element in this master planning process, and a range of activities will be implemented over the coming months to nurture and quantify that participation. A regular series of Zoom community meetings are being held, and other in-park activities are also envisioned, as permitted by evolving COVID-19 concerns. Now, while today's presentation celebrates your 174th birthday, George, we're also going to use the opportunity to announce plans for the coming year, when we'll observe your Dodrans Bicentennial. We call it Westinghouse 175. Beyond the park and solitude, Westinghouse 175 will be a recognition and appreciation that will reverberate throughout western Pennsylvania, across the country, and perhaps even around the world. Plans include special exhibits and programs at the Heinz History Center, the Carnegie Science Center, and other area institutions, along with media outreach. One event already on the Westinghouse 175 calendar is the world premiere production of The Current War. Written by Pittsburgher Michael Mitnick and produced by Quantum Theater, it is a musical rooted in the epic AC competition between you and Thomas Edison to establish electrical dominance. Quantum has announced plans to stage the musical under a big tent in Westinghouse Park. Here, with a sneak preview of the coming attraction, is Quantum's own founder and artistic director, Carla Booz.
Hi everyone. I'm here in this leafy green and very Pittsburgh place, Westinghouse Park. Thomas Boulevard is over there, and the Homewood bus station. We're about a block off Penn, very close to one of my favorite bars, the Evergreen, and one of my favorite arts organizations, the Frick. It feels quantum just being here. We're here because we will end the season in Westinghouse Park, gathered under a very large tent for socially distanced seating, in case we just find that plain fun, to see the world premiere of Michael Mitnick's The Current War. Quantum Theater is so pleased to turn Pittsburghers on to the 175th anniversary of George Westinghouse's birth through this play. Michael Mitnick is a former Pittsburgher who now moves in illustrious circles in Hollywood and New York, but he wrote this play at Yale. And The Current War describes that war between Westinghouse and his rival Thomas Edison ingeniously and musically. We are lucky to have two other great Pittsburghers director Tomei Cousin and music director Doug Levine working on the show. And we will show you a little bit of the very sweet turn-of-the-century music, beautifully sung by Drew Lee Williams, and that's Doug Levine at the keyboard. So imagine this space, if you will, at the turn of the last century. There is a large, magnificent house and Westinghouse's basement laboratory, and on any given night you might see a tower of sparks, or worse, flying in the air. After the music, Tomei will tell you a little bit about the show.
I saw a boy tall as a pine on the walk home from St. John the Divine. He tipped his hat, so I tipped mine. Ya da 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 da. I heard that boy say real polite, I'll walk you home, miss, if that be alright. I said I won't put up a fight. He walked me home. I got a boy bursting to see, crawl up the sky, sunshine down on me. Soon as you rise, then there he'll be. He's coming home to me.
We've been trying to work together for a while. I'm
Yes.
so glad that we are now at last.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that you have taken on the helm of this interesting play about Pittsburgh. Can you tell me why you said yes? What excites you about the project?
A couple of things. First of all, Quantum's work. I mean, I've always really appreciated it, and I find it very unique and speaks to the, like I said, to the creative, organic part of my life that I like, so much. And it's rare that I get to do something that is so organic. That's the best word I can. It's alive. It's really, really alive in a different creative process than just here's the book, here's the play, here's and go, and kind of a set idea of what it has to look like and everything. So I really enjoy your work and the company's work. So that's the first part. And I've always wanted to be a part of that. So it's great. It's a way in. And then just the story itself is told so romantically informative, I guess. It's got a mixture of good romance, of love, of what I do, of not what I do, but what the characters do. They are passionately involved in the creation of this new technology. That's gonna both all the characters think it's gonna change the world, which it did.
Hello, my name is Jelena McLaren, and I work for Quantum Theater as their Community Engagement Associate. I want to talk a little bit about our Neighborhood Partnership Initiative, Nearby. It's a program where we are partnering with 15 different businesses over a year span to help drive our patrons to their doors. Now, the pandemic really hit restaurants in particular hard, and so we're hoping that if we partner with restaurants, primarily POC and Black-owned restaurants, as the government assistance that went out to small businesses didn't really proportionally get awarded to them, then perhaps we can bridge that gap a little bit and help each other get through this difficult time. So right now we are partnered with 3 businesses, and this period will end on October 16th. But we are partnered with Cobbler World, we are partnered with Yuzu Kitchen, and we are partnered with Everyday Cafe. So if you make a purchase at any of these 3 businesses, your purchase will be matched in the form of a gift card. And now that gift card at the end of the engagement period will be distributed to families in the neighborhood that may be in need. It may be food insecure. So all you have to do is mention Quantum. Now our next engagement period will be in November and December. There'll be some older businesses that we've already partnered with, and then as well as new businesses to try out. And then in April and May, we'll be partnering with more businesses in the Homewood and North Point Breeze area to help gather folks around our show. Now, Quantum's always been about community building, about exploring, and we really think that getting our patrons more connected to the neighborhoods that are so kind to host us is a great way to do that, especially in this especially trying time. So keep your eyes out for what new businesses we partner with. There will be a lot of information coming your way as those decisions are made. And for now, I hope to see you at Everyday Cafe. Thanks.
Now you'll hear from Dr. William Huber, who has written a biography about you and your times.
Hello, George. I am Bill Huber, and I want to wish you a happy 174th birthday. We are so pleased that you could be with us today. I want to start by taking you to Mount Washington to show you something that you won't believe. When you lived in Pittsburgh, the smoke was so thick that we could not have seen the rivers from here. Now the air is clear, and the city is beautiful. Do you see that stadium on the left? Henry Hines was the guy who sold pickles and lived next door to you in Homewood, and that stadium is named for him and his company. Just behind Hines Field is where your Westinghouse air brake factory stood. You manufactured air brakes there before you established Wilmerding and built the massive air brake factory there. George, here is what the Westinghouse Air Brake General Office in Wilmerding looks like now. You called it the Castle, and the owner hopes to make it into a luxurious place called the Castle Hotel. Do you remember this picture? That is your beautiful Marguerite holding your son, George Westinghouse III. And I am sure you remember when George III and Evelyn Violet Brocklebank got married in England. That was March 4th, 1909. George, let's step back a minute and look at one measure of what you accomplished in your lifetime. You received 361 patents in your adult life, an average of one patent every 7 weeks for nearly 49 years. One of the big things that happened after you left us was the founding of radio station KDKA, the first commercial broadcasting station. KDKA sent election results to listeners on November 2nd, 1920. Out of that pioneering effort came a massive broadcasting industry, sending words, music, and pictures worldwide. George, do you know what Westinghouse Electric, your largest company, is called today? In 1995, Westinghouse bought the broadcasting company called CBS, and in 1997 took CBS as its corporate name. People in Pittsburgh appreciated all that you did for the city and her residents. So when plans were being made to build the long-awaited bridge spanning the Turtle Creek Valley, they named it the George Westinghouse Memorial Bridge. Here is a view from the bridge as it was being built. The bridge opened on September 10, 1932. This aerial view of the completed bridge shows your massive East Pittsburgh works of Westinghouse Electric and Manufacturing in the Turtle Creek Valley below the bridge. In 1930, 50,000 current and former Westinghouse employees contributed $200,000 to build a memorial to you. It stands on a secluded stream in Shenley Park, near Phipps Conservatory. You will be proud to hear what the dedication plaque, which is on the back of this panel, says. Here is the beginning. This memorial, unveiled October 6, 1930, in honor of George Westinghouse, is an enduring testimonial to the esteem, affection, and loyalty of 60,000 employees of the great industrial organizations of which he was the founder. The entire memorial has to be seen in person to appreciate its scope and beauty. George, you never saw a drone, but it is a small flying machine that can carry a camera to take pictures. A drone took this shot of the Westinghouse Memorial. I think you will like it. I have had the pleasure of writing your biography, and this is the cover that I have proposed to the publisher. The book will be published in mid-2021. George III and Evelyn had 6 children, and their children had children. Your second great-granddaughter, Selena Lowry, is with us today.
Happy birthday, George, and greetings from Kamloops, British Columbia, Canada. My name is Selena Lowry, and I am one of your great-grandchildren. So I thought I would let you know a little bit about the family that came after you, after your son. He had 6 children, one of which was my adored grandmother, Violet Westinghouse Lowry. And you had 20 great grandchildren, one of which was my father, Robert Erskine Lowry. So there you go. You have a very large family and lots of descendants. I have 4 children, and they would be your great-grandchildren. And I am sure that there are also great-grandchildren, and I'm getting lost in all the greats. Anyways, happy birthday. It is a real pleasure, and I would say very humbling and inspiring to be one of your descendants. And certainly it has been a very important, influential, or you have been an important, influential part of my life in inspiring me to want to really do good things in the world. And I really am humbled and thank you for that. And I hear you are being perhaps welcomed back to solitude in Westinghouse Park. I have been very, very honored to have made visits twice now to Westinghouse Park with my kids. So I can share some of the story and the history, and I am exceptionally honored to meet all of the great people who either have worked with Westinghouse companies or are really keen on preserving a lot of the history and your legacy. And I thank everyone for that so much, especially David Bear. And I really do appreciate everything that people are doing to remember you and to wish you a happy birthday. So there it is. Happy birthday. Thank you. Thanks for your legacy. Thanks for being inspiring. And I hope you have a peaceful and lovely day.
Next, some people have stopped by to wish you a happy birthday.
Birthday, George. Happy birthday. Congratulations.
All right. Hi, George. Happy birthday. I'm Reinhardt. I'm your neighbor across the street from you, from Westinghouse Park. Happy birthday, 174. See you again next year for the big one, 175.
Hi, my name is Barry Mitnick. I'm a professor at the University of Pittsburgh. I teach a course in business history. George, you don't look a day over 172. I'd love to have you visit my class.
Hi, I'm Ron Weiser, the president of the Westinghouse Shore Organization. And on behalf of our over 900 members, we would like to add our recognition to George Westinghouse on what would have been his 174th birthday. Thank you very much, George, and we live on in your legacy. Thank you very much.
Hi, my name is Michael Mitnick. I'm the writer of The Current War. I spent the last 10 years studying you, Mr. Westinghouse. I hope I wasn't too bad of a shadow. And I very much want to wish you a happy birthday. You've given Pittsburgh and the entire world so much. So I hope we can give a little bit back to you.
That's it for this year. Hopefully you had a great 174th birthday, and we really appreciate everything you've done for this community and for all the people around the world that admire what you have left behind. Hopefully we'll see you next year.